Hi guys, today we have with us Dr. Lakshmi Mohan. Ma'am, you are the director of a B school. So I've seen a lot of people coming in and going in the college. So she handles almost 1,000 students every year. So ma'am, today I want to ask you one simple question in the interview. So today I want to be a little informal with us so that we can, because today you're not the director here with us, you are more of a, here has to guide us about this thing. How important is the first impression? So is it like the first impression, the last impression kind of thing? Is this kind of thing matters in the interview?
A first impression matters a lot. In fact, for an interviewer, it takes only 30 seconds to gauge what you are. And this itself gives you an idea about how important it is for you to make an impression. I think it is for students to be well prepared, because when they face the interviewer, right from entering the door to taking a seat to opening your mouth to say a good morning or wishing the interviewer, everything matters, and that is what is the first impression. It sounds very simple, but I think a lot of preparation is required even to be your best, and make that first impression.
How much percentage, suppose I'm going to give 100 marks to a student, how much percentage, 50? 40?
I would say 80%.
80% is done. So guys, be prepared for that. And ma'am, you said you have a team of trainers who are training the students for soft skill and everything. So how will you train that thing? Suppose I want to learn, I have an interview coming up next week. So any one tip you would like to give to students so that they can improve?
So at ITM Business School, for us, that first impression or, being ready for the corporate interview is very important. So we have a team of trainers, we call them Tailwind, and they train the students to prepare for that D-Day. When we say preparation, it is right from being a very good communicator, articulating, to the T, being very well groomed, knowing what kind of dress to wear for an interview, preparing your resume or your statement of purpose, because it's also important to know what you want to do in life. So even creating that goal or goal setting is also important. Getting ready for the aptitude test, because today no corporate touches you without analyzing whether you have aptitude skills. So preparing the students for the aptitude, and so many such important parameters that the students need to be prepared on, for an interview is what we do.
Correct. Ma'am, I would like to confess here, because I've been a panelist of almost 30 colleges and companies over the last 10 years. So you are right. The moment a person come in, you can't judge a person in a small interview. How can I judge a person's lifetime stories in half an hour or 20 minutes interview? So first impression does matter. So how important, now second part is how important the comm skills. You talked about the comm skills, you talked about soft skills. So how important is that?
Soft skills can never be taught. It is actually caught. And I believe that there's a lot of learning that happens when you start watching these trainers, understanding cues from the behavior of your peers, knowing, how to kind of communicate when you see a faculty trying to explain a lot of concepts and giving you all the practical exposure. So I feel that, if you are alert, agile, and if you have a sense of purpose, it will be easy for you to even catch soft skills. It's not difficult. And that also includes good communication skills. I think mastery over all this is not difficult. When you were a child or a toddler, how did you learn language, your mother tongue? I don't think any parent would have taught you. You heard them speak. You heard them continuously interact with you, and that is how you learned, right? So these are all the way of interaction that enables you to prepare yourself with necessary soft skills.
Correct. And the moment a person joins the B school, I think that's the best time when you need to understand what are your weak areas and you can improve that. And now also, suppose they have 1 month of time for the interviews. You cannot be very good in English. You can't improve your comm skills in 1 month, but at least you can be. You can start talking English. So I always give the example of Amitabh Bachchan's example that I can walk in English, I can talk English. So start talking English. I think that's the best way to do that. Yeah. People will laugh on you on the starting, but आगे जाके उनको समझेगा, आगे जाके आपको benefit होगा. So if you can talk English.
Yeah, I think it's all about communicating. And if you are communicating from your heart, you're straight, you're very clear, that does matter. More than the, the grammatical sense that you make, I think the confidence with which you communicate. So like you mentioned, it's like, just start speaking in English, and that's what matters.
Ma'am, before meeting you, I used to say one thing. If in an MBA you need only one thing, that is confidence. If you're confident, you can survive any environment, you can give any PPT, or you can pass any interview. After meeting, you're adding one more, like sincerity is also important. Whatever you're doing, you be confident, but if you're sincere enough to do whatever you have done, I think the combination of these two will be the best thing anyone can have.
Absolutely true. In fact, if you're sincere, you're very passionate. And I think all those who want to pursue their management program must be having certain passion in them to be leaders. And you will obviously be sincere if you want to fulfill that goal of yours to be a leader, right? So sincerity is foremost. And when sincerity is there, everything follows. Even if you're average, I feel that learnability, that sincerity in whatever you do is what actually takes you to great heights. And it is rightly said, it is your attitude that takes you to the highest altitude.
Correct. So, ma'am, I'm going slightly off track here. You said academics is not important. Overall development is more important. So, what do you mean by overall development?
I think that's what even corporates look at today. There has been a time when they have been very, very particular that every student should be a first class throughout. But now I also see corporates allowing students who have got a second class to be part of the process. Now, why does this happen is also because they have realized it is not just getting a 90 out of 100 or 100 out of 100 that matters. It is beyond that. It's whether you are able to have that flexibility, adaptability in you when you get into the corporate, whether you are able to develop those critical thinking skills, whether you are, confident in whatever you are doing, whether there is that learnability, like I mentioned, prepared to learn if you do not know something. And so it's not just marks. I think it's an overall personality that they look at, whether you are able to beat stress. There would be questions in an interview which will be, actually very stressful. But are you able to answer them in a very calm and composed manner? That also talks about how balanced you are. So it's not at all just marks. It's a lot of so many other things that make an individual.
Correct. That's why now when you enter the B school, there's a weightage for every area. Academic record weightage is only 10%, 15%.
Absolutely.
So if I want to take admission ITM, can you tell us what is the breakup? How much weightage is for the CAT score, exam score? How much weightage is for?
So we always go by the composite score. And when I say composite score, there is weightage given to your communication skills, your confidence, your presentation skills, your academics, of course, your extracurricular activities, a little also towards work experience if you have had any, because there are many students who take a year to prepare for CAT. So are they doing something, that's also adding value to their own personality? So we look at a lot of such parameters when we have to recruit students. It is not just academics, it is not just your entrance test, but I think a lot of such, details is what goes into selecting a student.
Correct. And ma'am, there's one always question which I tell the students, कि when you always apply with the best score, like suppose you have given CAT, but CAT you got 82 and CMAT you got 92. So apply via CMAT score. So what would you recommend? He should fill both the score and the exam when you're applying for your college, or he should?
See, these colleges that actually select these students also know where a CMAT stands or a CAT or a CET. So I would always suggest that even if you put both the scores, it does not matter, because an interviewer knows what is the value that each of these entrance tests carries. But yes, I think if you want to really highlight that you have a better score, then you can show your CMAT score and say, okay, I've got 90 plus in CMAT.
But won't it create a bad? So 82 is not a bad number, but suppose someone got 42. Yeah. So I got 92 in CMAT. I got a call because of my CMAT score. But won't it create a bad impression? के ठीक है 90 आया ठीक है हटाओ ये 42 क्यों आया? So rather than showing it,
Yeah, so
don't show it all.
I think if it is an 82 and 92, I would rather show both.
Both, yeah.
But if it is a 42 and 92, I would rather show a 92.
92, perfect.
So I think you need to strike a balance somewhere here,
Correct,
take the right decision on, showing the kind of score that you would want to.
Correct. And in the interview, the panelists will know how much is my score or will not know?
The panelist will know how much your score is because that is a part of the form where you need to also fill up what your entrance test score is.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you. Thanks.
Same.